Beneath the polished surface, the quaint manor at the edge of the countryside was a picture of serenity. Tall hedges framed the sprawling estate, its large windows gleaming in the soft afternoon sun. Inside, the air smelled faintly of lavender, the scent of freshly cleaned surfaces mingling with the faint hum of distant birdsong. Amelia Worthing had been hired as the new housemaid only a month prior. She was perfect in every way, punctual, diligent, and eerily quiet. Her pale hands scrubbed, folded, and polished tirelessly, leaving every inch of the manor immaculate. The family, Mr. and Mrs. Kensington, and their teenage daughter Clara, had quickly grown dependent on her. "She's a treasure," Mrs. Kensington would gush to her friends over tea. "I don't know how we managed without her." But no one noticed the way Amelia's gaze lingered too long on Clara when she thought no one was watching, or how her hands would tighten on the polished banister as the girl passed by. Clara, bright and free-spirited, had barely paid Amelia any attention. To her, the maid was just another faceless employee, fading into the background of her privileged life. But to Amelia, Clara was everything, a beacon of beauty, innocence, and grace in an otherwise dark world. Amelia's obsession grew, feeding on small moments, the brush of Clara's laughter echoing through the halls, the smell of her perfume clinging to the clothes Amelia meticulously folded, the photographs in Clara's room, which Amelia would study late at night when the house was asleep. She memorized every curve of Clara's smile, every tilt of her head. Amelia's meticulous nature began to take on a darker edge. She started leaving tiny, unnoticed marks of herself in Clara's life. A slightly moved picture frame, a pressed flower hidden in a book, the faintest trace of her handwriting on Clara's notepad. It wasn't enough to clean up after Clara. Amelia wanted to be part of her world. But when Clara's boyfriend, Daniel, started visiting more frequently, something inside Amelia snapped. She watched from the shadows as Clara and Daniel laughed in the garden, their hands brushing, their lips meeting. Jealousy boiled within her, dark and consuming. One evening, as the Kensingtons hosted a dinner party, Amelia stood in the kitchen, her hands trembling around a sharp carving knife. She stared at her reflection in the blade, her mind racing. Daniel was a problem, a stain on the perfect picture she envisioned with Clara. He needed to be removed. The opportunity came late that night. Daniel lingered after the party, his car parked at the end of the long driveway. He had gone to retrieve something from the guest house, and Amelia followed silently, her footsteps muffled by the thick grass. He didn't hear her approach until it was too late. The knife sank in cleanly, her strength belying her slight frame. Daniel's eyes widened in shock as he collapsed, his blood pooling beneath him. Amelia worked quickly, dragging his body to the edge of the woods. The night swallowed her deed, the darkness a perfect accomplice. The next morning,